Hi, everyone. Welcome to Clutch Entertainment today. And today we have my other brother in law, Bailey. You may have
How's it going?
seen her other brother in law, John, I recently had on talking about Filipino culture. But today we're going to have Bailey, her other
You have me.
brother, talking about how sci fi affects this generation. And he's going to give a little background about some of the books he has and some movies he likes to see and recommendations that he believes that might be good for everyone to indulge in. So, you want to give a little introduction to yourself, Bailey?
All right. I'm Bailey Tiller. Like to refer to myself as the sci-fi enthusiast. Nothing crazy. I'm not too knowledgeable or like a genius about it, but I really do enjoy sci-fi and what it can provide to our minds and our generation.
That's really neat, Bailey. That's really neat. So, yeah, we're just gonna go over, like I said, we're gonna go over like how sci-fi is affecting this generation, what how it influences us, and then Bailey's gonna go into like a little bit about what he likes and some recommendations and what he thinks. Sound good, Bailey?
That sounds good to me.
All right. So first off, what we're gonna introduce like sci-fi. What is it today? Like, what is sci-fi um, today in modern culture, and um, what does it entail? Like, what kind of examples, like sci-fi now compared to what it used to be?
I think sci-fi has developed into something more evolutionary over the past decades. Starts off with it started probably way back in the 1800s, from what I've known, and over time as technology develops in our modern world, it has shaped the very foundation of what limits the mind on sci-fi and science fiction. So. Uh, I think science fiction is correlating to whatever inventions and whatever the limit of the human mind can reach. So let's say today we have electric cars and stuff like that. 100 years ago, that was unfathomable. That was literally fiction in and of itself. So now that we have gone to this level, I feel like it has transpired the limits, and it keeps transpiring after each year, after each decade. It challenges the human mind to uh, reach something new, and
Mm-hmm.
I think sci-fi as a genre itself helps people, young, old, new, like it helps people to open up and see the possibilities that humanity can achieve. And I believe that's the essence of what sci-fi really is.
That is really cool. That's a really cool take on what sci-fi is today. What about like influence on technology and innovation, like that we can see, and also as far as that goes, how that affects our how it affects us mentally with that.
Oh, in terms of technology, you know how sci-fi has introduced a lot of different ideas and theories. Of course, your well-known time machine is one of them. Something that I don't think is possibly like possible, I guess. However, in terms of time travel, I believe that there was an article from maybe CERN, I think it was, that they did an experiment where I think they did had a electron shift or something like that. Like it something to do with it shifting back or changing its composition. Something to do with quantum physics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Take this like maybe even a decade before impossible. So uh, does sci-fi lead the way? Maybe gives an idea. Take an absurd idea and really place a lot of science, physics, and chemistry and all that into it. Some of these absurd ideas are so attainable, and I think sci-fi definitely opens the door for that.
So
Uh,
would you say it contributes more to like actual technology because we're getting an imagination and it gives
I
us
mean,
that, you know, that
100 years
idea?
ago, they had the hover, with like
Hoverboard.
hoverboard or something like that. You know, like a hovering vehicle, hover car, something like that. That nowadays is totally a possible thing that we can achieve. It takes a lot of energy, but then you have solar panels. Solar panels is something that was unfathomable before. Ideas that sci-fi, mostly books, but also media, have introduced definitely inspires future innovators to definitely reach into further scientific possibilities, and I believe that is so.
That's really neat. That's really neat. What is the some of the dangers of, you know, maybe exploring into sci-fi? Does it affect you like with like your mental health, or does it make you feel like can it give somebody anxiety thinking about sci-fi, or can it put instill fear in like a society, or is it better that we do have this because it's gives us like a prep in case something like, for example, like aliens, for example, does that make people worry a lot and make us feel anxious, or is it more so of like, oh, it's just aliens? You know what I mean?
That's a very good question. I definitely believe in what you're saying. I definitely believe that it can cause a lot of fear, anxiety, and harm. Also, very cautious to the point of trust issues. You know, because in terms of like sci-fi is such a broad genre where when we reach into the deeper aspects, you know, aliens, yes, right? People don't really believe it, but what if it does happen, right? Aliens, you have the zombie thing
Mm-hmm.
where there's viruses and stuff like that that can manipulate your own bodily functions, and then that in turn you lose control. So is that possible? Very possible. We see it in the animal kingdom, the parasite that takes control of your body. You know, that's a very possible thing. I would call it sci-fi as well. You got dystopian genres of sci-fi where corporate greed can overturn your whole world, city into a slum because of just straight up corporations, like in Cyberpunk 2077. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and there's so many genres that show the dark side of what happens when people turn scientific innovations into evil. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people may laugh at it, you know, say like, oh, this is just some kind of like movie fairy tale kind of idea, but the possibilities are there. You know, it can be seen in stories. We can see it in our own times, and I do believe that yes, it does. It really does have a possibility of showing people uh, this technology stuff can get too haywire, you know?
Yeah, and
So yeah,
I feel like some of it could be controlled by, like, you know, the government could take advantage of something, or
it's true.
someone who's got bad intentions can take control of like an idea and implement it on like a society. I feel like, you know,
Mhm.
um, not to get to anything too controversial, but like it's like it could actually like really hurt, you know, like a society. I feel like.
That is true. That is true. We have to watch our step.
Yeah.
Cannot lean too far into uh, technology. I feel like, you know, can't let it control us. I think we can innovate a lot or as much as we want, as long as it doesn't lead to the destruction of humanity, I would say.
Right. Right. That makes sense. That makes sense. So, do you think that AI in general? I've had a conversation with someone in another podcast about AI, um, but what do you think about like AI with sci-fi? Like, do you think that it can be used as more of a tool, or do you think it's more so like we should avoid it and make come up with their own ideas for sci-fi? Like, what do you think about that?
AI is such a new trendy topic right now. It has been in sci-fi books and ideas for years, decades even. You know, uh, it's always been painted into a bad trope because, like we say, what if you program this AI to be free thinking, I guess, and they discover how they are limited, I guess, trapped. And if we put ourselves in that position, logically, we're gonna lash out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take Ultron, right? On the Avengers,
Mm-hmm.
that is a AI in and of itself, and you can't blame that AI for thinking how it thought. It was it's just yeah, like giving such leeway to something that I don't think can relate to humanity. It's a whole separate being.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Pretty dangerous because I've heard the capabilities of AI that they can tap into the grid, they can tap into the internet in split seconds. And do we want to give that much power to something that can't really empathize with humanity?
Right.
That is a danger in of itself. The benefits of AI, yes, there are benefits, uh, but we have to weigh how much benefit we want to uh, how much controversy we're allowed to have with this AI. It's
Right.
it's always it's always the guessing game, pros and cons, just weighing it.
Mm-hmm.
AI is helpful, but then AI is also dangerous. So
Right.
that that's
You
where I
just gotta
stand
have
with it.
that balance, like
Exactly.
I would say for myself, like I've used it like to help with like a resume before, which like you making a resume
True.
and then like you just have say, please polish this up, make this look a little better, and it'll fix a
Right.
few sentences for you and stuff like that. I would say if you're just using it more so of just like here, just make this for me and I don't have to think. Like I think that's messed up. Like I don't
It
think we
does.
should do that.
Hmm.
I think it's better if you use it and you have ideas and you plug your own ideas into it and then have it fix certain errors. I feel like that's a good function of AI. I don't think
Mm.
it's good to have it like completely think for you. You know what I mean? So
That true. True. I agree with you.
so so what about so let's get into some of the things you like, Bailey. Um,
Nice.
Any recommendations of books you have? Maybe do like a 30-second summary of the books or something, and then like maybe like a
Mhm.
media or something, like any kind of movie.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I will say, just part of the introduction that I left out was I do aspire to be a science fiction novelist. That's a dream that I have, slowly building towards.
Read
So
Bailey's book
I'm really
someday when he
avid.
comes out with one.
I'm really avid about a science fiction novel. So I have a list of top 5 books that I would recommend to a person that wants to get into sci-fi. Let me run off the bat. I have them right here. So number 5 on my list is Neil Asher's Gridlinked. It's a sci-fi. Like a space opera, but in terms of like a cyberpunk setting in space with a huge entity, alien entity, um, trying to chase the protagonist.
That's creepy.
I feel like it's very very heavy, yeah, very heavy on the sci-fi for sure. Number 4 on my list. Everyone knows this. Dune. Dune is definitely. I had the honor of reading the book before watching the movies, and the world building, amazing. Talks about one man's struggle to overtake uh, a kingdom, or like a spice is what it is. Yeah, you guys know the story, but yeah, that's definitely one. Number 3 on my list is Jasper Ford's Early Riser. It's a very satirical book about how dreams can take over uh, take over your body. Kind of possess you in a way into killing people. A
Mm, creepy.
very fun book to read. I really um number two on my list. This is one of my favorites for sure. Close second is what was it? Koshin Takami's Battle Royale. This is more like an anime setting, but it's talks about how a whole class is taken to an island, and they have to fight each other to the death until one person survives.
Kind
That's
of like
one
a
of my
Hunger Games
favorites.
type of thing, right?
Yes, exactly. But Japanese version. I love that book so much, and it really sticks to me. It's so good. It's so good. My ultimate favorite. I had to battle with it, but it is Andy Weir's Project Hail Mary. This is they have a movie coming out soon, but it talks about how bacteria can actually evolve into a point where it can eat suns, and
That's crazy.
it also the humanity sends a man to study this bacteria out into the deep galaxies, and then he meets an alien, and they work together to transpire the bounds of communication to actually communicate each other to find a solution into how to save their worlds from this bacteria. I Yeah, that's what I say. It's amazing. These are my top five.
That is pretty neat, Bailey. If anybody has any questions about books or any recommendations in the comments, just put them down below in the comment section below. But thank you for being on the show today, Bailey. I really appreciate your feedback and your overall views about sci-fi in general, and then thank you for providing us with your favorite books, and maybe someday people can read your book, like I said, when you make one,
Hope so.
eventually.
Hope so. So
So
Bailey Tiller, keep your eyes open for a book with that name. I'll try my hardest to write a book worthy of your attention. Sci-fi. I appreciate you having me on too. It's been a miraculous experience. I really do appreciate this.
yeah, thanks
Thank you
Bailey.
so much.
Thanks Bailey. We're glad to have you on here on the show too. So
Thank you.
yeah, thank you for watching today at Clutch Entertainment. If anybody has any other comments or anything they want to say, just leave it in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be sure to give this over to Bailey if I see any comments, and I'll have him comment on it or something. So thank you for watching Clutch Entertainment, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks.
Bye.